Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, and Dave Dreher, and we'll take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA, which is streaming now on Shudder. And this movie is going to be the strangest thing you've heard us review in quite a while. Stick around for this. All right, let's introduce the crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Boop, boop. How you doing, boop, boop? Oh, all right. I don't even want to know what you just booped, but welcome to the show. All right, also joining us tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. How you doing?
I don't know. Until y'all tell me how you feel about this movie, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can respect you guys any longer. I just don't know. I don't know. I love you, but I don't know if I respect you.
I've been there. All right, let's also joining us. All right, is the one and only Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Man, Crystal actually looks pissed.
She does.
No, my mind is blown. I'm like, no, this isn't happening. This isn't happening.
Oh, man.
Come on, we got to talk about this one. Let's go. Let's get this show started.
Let's get it going. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our first impressions of the movie. Then we're going to talk about it for a little bit. That's going to be really strange. And then we're going to wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. But what movie are we talking about? Have you heard about this movie? It's KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA. I would have said KOKO-DA, but it is KOKO-DA in the movie, so that's what I'm going with. Streaming on Shudder beginning March 18th, 2021, which means it's streaming now. Go watch this movie. Well, wait, maybe you won't. But let's find out. Written and directed by Johannes Nyholm. The cast includes a bunch of names I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I'm going to screw a lot of them up.
Oh yeah.
Come on, you gotta try Morad, Baboo. Come on, give us that one at least.
What, Khatchadorian?
That's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
As a couple goes on a trip to find their way back to each other, a sideshow artist and a shady entourage emerge from the woods, terrorizing them and luring them deeper into a maelstrom of psychological terror and humiliating slapstick. That's right. It is kind of unbelievable what happens in this movie, but it is I don't know. Can you say this?
Yeah, kind of unbelievably bad.
Well, okay, Crystal, you're first. Let us know, please, what your first impression of KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA was.
Okay, so normally a movie is on Shudder, and I'd say, I know you guys have Shudder. Totally check it out. I will tell you guys to avoid this movie like the plague. I wish I could get back this time that I watched this movie, because I literally sat there and I was like, why was this made? This is absolutely it's really that bad to me. It did offend me. It offended me. It was so bad. Yeah. Because there's no gore. There's a little bit of trickling of blood. Okay. No, that's not enough for me. Then it's basically Groundhog Day for this couple going into the woods, getting, they say like humiliated. Okay, I'll give them. Like tortured? No. I mean, that's kind of a bit much. Let's just put it this way. The movie is so bad that I didn't care that their daughter died at the beginning of the movie. And it was so obvious it was happening. I was like, oh, okay. I usually am so bothered by that stuff, but I was like, oh, thank God you got out of this, girl, because you don't want to be involved in whatever this. I mean, okay. The witchy woman and the guy in the overalls looked ridiculous. Just straight up ridiculous. And it was all over so fast. It just, I don't understand if y'all liked it. I don't understand if y'all liked it. I'm like, no, you didn't like it. There's no way you liked it. There's no way you could like this. It's a turd, as Dave would say. It's a hunka turd. I'm letting, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, but they made a movie. Good on them.
Good on them. All right, we should mention that it's a Swedish Denmark movie, Danish. So we'll just throw that out there. It is subtitled. Poor Dave. All right.
There's not much subtitles, at least, though. They don't talk all that much. That's
true.
not too bad.
So, Mr. Boop Boop, what was your first impression of KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA?
Okay. Forget what Crystal said. This is this. I would totally agree with her in that it was one of the strangest movies I've ever seen. But rather than Groundhog Day, I would say it was more like a recurring nightmare that was a little different every time. Okay. This is going to sound so weird. So the couple, right? Not likable. No. They're both idiots, you know. The guy like in a couple of the iterations is an ass, and the woman is an ass a couple times, you know. I mean, when the guy does try to do the right thing, the woman is like not cooperating at all. She's just so, yeah. And then where these people come from, we don't know. What did they call them in that description? Sideshow?
Sideshow.
How do we
I
know
thought
that?
they were supposed to be supernatural because they were on her toy.
No.
I don't know. It didn't matter to me, though.
Right. So I kind of enjoyed the sort of the kind of the magical part of them. The cat and that little old guy was just.
Oh, he was kind of creepy.
I thought he was kind of creepy. I myself. And then they would always get in this sort of. I don't want to give too much away. So. And then it kind of wraps around back on itself. So you're having this recurring nightmare. You don't have any idea how you got there. And then at the end, you find out, I guess, how you got there. But these people are not getting, I don't know. They're not getting,
exactly.
They're not getting out. So I'm totally with you. It makes no sense at all. It's weirder than hell. But it was somehow captivating or lyrical in the way it was presented, or maybe I got hypnotized by that silly song they kept singing, the KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA song or something. But and then the guy with the weighted cane that he uses to alternately poke people in the penis or beat them over the head with the other, you know, it's like, or I guess he was using his finger, wasn't he?
He used his finger and went boop.
Yeah. But anyway, it was frustrating. It was irritating, yet somehow I was hypnotized.
Hypnotized. All right, Dave Dreher, you're up next. Oh, everybody sit down. This is going to be, if you're talking magical, this is going to be
3 words.
This is magical.
3 words.
I'm actually going to build on Crystal's analogy. She called it a turd. Okay, yeah. I'm going to take it a step further, and we all go to the bathroom, so we can talk honestly.
Everybody
right?
poops.
You ever had to poop and you think you're done, and then you realize, oh shit, there's a little bit more there, and you poop a little more. That's this movie. It's the after shit. It's not even shit. It's after shit. So, yeah.
Wait. What did you dub it? That's why I saved it for you.
Oh yeah, the KOKO-KA. This is KOKO-KA.
Yes.
I was texting Doc while I was watching this, and I'm like, this is just nonsensical. But you know what? It's not even nonsensical. It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's just bad. I didn't understand it. I get the Groundhog Day thing. I get the reoccurring nightmare. My reoccurring nightmare is I accidentally hit play on this piece of shit again. And I have to watch a couple of seconds of it. Yeah, it has no reason to exist.
Oh my god.
Great.
So you're saying this is the film that makes you go bloop and you have to sit back down and wipe again.
That's it. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Gotcha. All right, we've all been there. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to admit. It's not. It's embarrassing, but it happens.
Hey, it happens.
Usually after too much Taco Bell, but there you go. All right, so you guys are going to be shocked. I like this movie. This movie somehow appealed to my love for going to film festivals. This is a film festival movie, if there ever was one.
It
It certainly is. Lyrical is a good way to put it. I like that description, and because there's the beginning of the film sets up this couple who experience a tremendous tragedy, and as time goes by, they can no longer, their whole everything's broken. Their marriage is broken. They don't like each other and everything, and they're on this trip, and they get stuck in this repeating thing, trying to figure it out. Now, what I realized after is something funny, and we'll get to that later in the thoughts. And it was kind of like, well, that doesn't really make sense. But anyway, so there's all these metaphors in it. There's even these strange puppet animations that they use, which were
I did kind of like those. Actually,
I did like those.
At least they were different. There was something different.
Yeah,
there's that whole Phoenix thing going on, and to me, the repetition I started getting into, especially as they started getting further and further in in their adventure, trying to get away. And I don't know, there's been like a lot of these movies lately, like there's Boss Level. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. And it kind of does, a similar thing but it's much more like it's trying to get through a stage of a game. This one is leaning back toward the Groundhog Day kind of thing where they wake up. Because I like that the guy started off remembering things, right? He would wake up and go, oh shit, I remember this, right? And he would try to get his way out of it. It didn't help that he was a complete dick and had
a wussy.
Oh my god, and
gross. Gross. Like if I have ever been more turned off by a guy, I don't think ever.
Oh my god, yes. I can
like he's just sitting there watching I'm like, are you freaking
Where's Henry Cavill when you need him? Huh?
I know, he's such a coward. Such a coward.
For real.
But what's really, and I don't think he ever grows. And I think that's the flaw of this movie is that the characters never really journey on their arc. Although metaphorically they do, but that's where it falls apart. I did like the idea that when the woman journeyed into the woods following the cat, that by the time she got to the end of her journey, she was like an older lady, an older version of herself. And I thought that was interesting. And of course, then she just wakes up again. I guess she died of old age that time. I'm not really sure. There's this weird metaphor of like, they're at a spot where they can make different decisions. And each one of the decisions is kind of represented here, but I'm not sure any of them work out for them. I think they were hopelessly too far in the game. So anyway, I got caught up in it, kind of enjoyed it. It's really weird and messed up in the wrong way. And it worked for me. And I'm totally embarrassed by the whole thing.
Gore lovers are not going to like this movie, bottom line. No way. You're going to be like, why
a lot
did this movie...
of people are not going to like this
No,
movie.
you really are going to have to be on the, what's your term you like, Dave? The artsy-fartsy side of things? Yeah.
Oh, that's...
I don't even know this is even artsy-fartsy. This is, like I said, it's just bad. I mean, the little animation stuff, a little artsy-fartsy. Yeah, the animation stuff was artsy-fartsy.
But I kind of like that. Okay, so see, I like artsy-fartsy. This is just silly, dumb. It's just, I think someone just thought, okay, we're not going to have a script. We're not going to have anything. We're just going to go out there and we're going to make a movie. All we have is this little patch of land and a tent. Go.
Well, I think they were trying to build some type of a character out of that, the guy with the straw hat. I mean, I think, he was kind of the reoccurring common thing for that.
Yeah, it's important to know that all the characters we see other than the husband and wife are represented on this top thing.
Music box.
The girl had. Yeah, the girl had. So they're
was that big guy carrying around a pig or a dog?
A dog, a white dog. And then the brown.
So, and that was the dog that they hit.
And that
was the dog that they hit in the car. So I did see that everything was kind of cyclical. It still didn't matter. Just
and then the lady with the hair that was kind of
the very tall lady. The very tall lady.
Yeah, the tall lady with the fucked up hair. Yeah. Yeah,
like
the gun
very
never shot. By the way, we're spoiling the hell out of this. Apparently, even though you're still not going to know what happened.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not going to make any sense to anybody who watches it.
So I mean, how do I argue for this movie? Did you not like the idea that they wake up and they try to live this this encounter a different way every time? And
No.
that didn't,
Because they were just pathetic still. Every time he sets off the stupid alarm and he's like, come on. I just hated them. Okay, just like Jeff said, the biggest problem with this movie is that I hated them. I hated them both. I especially hated him. But I didn't like her too much either, and I'm just like, I hope he dies. Please. Just kill him now. Like, ugh. Like, he's such a... Ugh. And
well,
I'm
apparently
sure that was the
hitting
point,
the dog was what they needed to get to come back together, huh?
And that's...
I
that
don't
was the
understand
point at the end
Yeah.
when they're like holding hands. They're like, oh, we're bonded again. Gross.
Well,
Why would you want to bond with that douche?
Yeah, and there's a huge
Yuck.
problem with how that worked out, because didn't he literally like have to beat the crap out of her to get in her car?
Yeah.
Time? There's
Yeah.
something wrong there. There's something wrong there. But I think there's a metaphor for what they were trying to say, but I don't know if I know what it is. So I guess my question is there something lost in translation? Is there some kind of maybe a background to this that we don't know?
There may be some...
Is there an urban legend that we're unaware of?
Some Norski tradition or something from
Norski.
I don't know.
That's going to come back on me.
Hey, I'm part Norski, so
Okay, there you go.
Scandinavian. So I was looking forward to seeing this because I did see this on a couple of best of.
Really,
at the
best
end the
of?
year. Yes, I did.
I am so
I
disappointed in horror movie lovers right now.
Was it
I
Joseph
can't tell
Perry?
you
What?
who did it, but it was
Okay.
something.
Joseph
that came
Perry,
in
if
through
it
my
was
Google
you, we
feed.
need to know.
It was. I haven't asked him about it. I should have asked him about it.
I can see Joseph Perry liking this.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know.
too.
All right. I think if we keep talking about this, it's so okay. So one of the problems is it is very repetitive because we see the same series of events. I think
Yep.
like 6-7 times. They do change up more drastically as they go on, like you would expect in a film that would do this repeat kind of storytelling. But like Crystal said, you really don't care for the characters, so it's really hard to invest in this movie, and I understand that, but I just feel like there's something in
At
this
some
movie
point,
that we totally miss.
at some point, you're going, shoot him! When are you going to shoot him? Anyway,
Rough.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts. Our final thoughts. Our score 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest. Keep that in mind. 5 being high, and our favorite scene. And we all have to pick a favorite scene. We can all pick the same one. I'm going to let you do that. But before we do, if you're still watching, we want to thank you so much for being here. We hope you're enjoying our reviews, and we hope you listen to others. If you want to help us out, it's really easy to do, and it's free. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button or share with a friend. Both of those will do a lot of good for us, and we thank you so much. If you want to get a little bit more involved, hit the dislike button, hit that bell to get reminded, or leave us some comments. Don't listen to Crystal's advice, which might be the best advice you hear, and watch this movie and leave us some comments down below. It's on Shudder, so it's there for you, and we'd love to hear from you. We also want to take a moment to thank our patrons, who, without their patronage, we would not be able to do not only this podcast, the Gruesome Magazine podcast, but Horror News Radio, Decades of Horror, and Heroes and Droids. So thank you all so very, very much. Crystal. Everybody sit down, grab your seats. This is going to be interesting. What is your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene for KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA?
Well, I mean, I think I made myself pretty clear with what I said. I think you should avoid this movie. I guess that Shudder's trying to do some sort of reach out program or something. I'm not sure. Typically they're like such winners. I'm a little surprised about this, but I'm giving this a 1. Like, obviously. Ugh. And I mean, I did like the cartoony scenes. I actually found it kind of that was the most compelling part, even though I didn't understand it. I didn't care. But my favorite scene is going to be when she walks out of the bathroom with the red face, with the allergies in him. He's like, whoa. I thought it was funny. That was pretty funny. So I'll give it that. I'll try something different from y'all. Let y'all have the other single, maybe one frame that's pretty good in this movie.
One frame? Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Just
Oh,
kidding.
my. Oh, my goodness.
It is that bad.
Oh, wow. All right, Jeff. Mr. Boop Boop. What is your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Strange as it may seem, I'm glad I watched this. I'm really torn on the score because it was like something like I don't know. Have you ever read a book that was like you didn't quite know what the hell was going on, but it was strangely hypnotic and you just couldn't quit reading? Yeah, anyway. That's the way this was. And I'm not going to name the book because I'll probably get slammed for it. So but it was strangely hypnotic to me. So I enjoyed it while at the same time being incredibly frustrated with the characters and the repetition of, yeah, we're doing these different things, but they're all really stupid things to do. There maybe only was one or two of them that seemed like the right thing to do, but they never cooperated with each other. So, so I'm giving this a 3.125.
Whoa!
I'm out. I'm done.
Wow! Wow! Didn't see that coming. Awesome.
And my favorite scene is going to be boop boop.
Boop! Oh no! That was the most uncomfortably weird scene.
The little old guy, he was just creepier than crap.
Yes, but it was
for me.
It was disturbing.
Yes,
that's for sure. All right, Dave Dreher, sir. Oh shit! What was your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Well, obviously, I did not think much of this film, so if you want to waste your time watching it, knock your socks off. It's there. I see no redeeming value in this movie at all. It offered up nothing. It really, honestly, I'm hard pressed to find a film. I won't go as far as say it offended me, like Crystal said, but it certainly did not interest me in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what this is or why it exists, but they need to not make any more of them. Please, no more of them. Seriously, if just walk outside, take off your shoes, and stand there and stare at your feet for whatever the runtime of this is, it's time better spent than watching this movie. Favorite scene, there's really, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one scene in the movie that's even worth talking about, and that's the scene where the little girl dies. For a few moments. It's horrible, but the mother's reaction, I actually bought into it. I actually got interested because she fucking loses her shit, and that guy is just worthless. She's like, pull the string, and he's like, huh, what string? What are you talking about?
I know.
And it's but it was really good. That lady showed that she did have some acting chops. In that, and those type of scenes are always difficult, and especially in this movie where everything else was so nonsensical, to actually make me feel grief for her for losing her daughter was kind of an achievement. So that was for me the best scene. But I'll give this a 1 only because Doc says I can't give it anything any lower. But this is just not a good movie.
Okay, and so let me state for the record, there's a scene. And this is a spoiler, a scene where a dog is at her crotch and he's like, oh, eat it, yummy, yummy, yummy. So if you want to know what's offensive.
Yeah, that
really.
Yeah,
there was it was like an ongoing urine thing with this. There was a thing with they were always peeing and the dogs were licking the pee, and then there was a
and had the movie had the rest of the stuff to go with that'd be one thing, but it's like they were just trying to freak us out with what they were saying, and that just doesn't work for me. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that scene. That scene was ridiculous and stupid and offensive. That it absolutely was.
Yeah.
That's going on the box. Ridiculous, stupid, and offensive. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm rather embarrassed to say I actually like this movie because
No.
now that you brought that up, but I got caught up in the repetitiveness of this. I was interested to see how they were going to try to live this this encounter in a different way and try to work their way out of it when they wouldn't work together at all. And I enjoyed that metaphor, whatever they were, the metaphor of a broken marriage, right? That there's a whole lot of decisions that you can make and a lot of them just aren't going to work. And that was where I was heading with this. And for me, that was working.
That's actually better. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that they never got along was part of the problem. And even when he took control, it didn't end well, right? Maybe they kind of got away, but they really didn't, right? So and all that. I mean, I was prepared to give this a better score. I was prepared to give this a 3, but because of one scene, and then now on top of that, the scene you just reminded me of, and now I'm totally embarrassed. But the fact that the only way he can get her out is to literally beat the crap out of her is really is more offensive even than what I think you are. And I dislike that. And I really didn't realize that's what he did until afterwards. Like the next day, I was like, oh shit, that really shouldn't have happened. That was bad.
Yeah.
But I still, the concept of the movie, the creativeness with the story structure, which I thought was creative. You guys thought it was poopy, but I thought it was creative. And that's fine. That's fine because I may be putting more into this movie than the movie has to offer. But at the same time, I like this weird shadow art puppet thing going on. I'm sure there's a name for what it is. It's probably a real thing, but it was fascinating, and and the story was really weird and kind of played along with what was going on, but in a weird way that didn't really necessarily jive. But I don't know. It still caught my attention and fascinated me. And this really, when I mean that, if I were going to a film festival, this would be like one of the films I would expect to find, one of the late nights where they have, here's our weird cinema block, and you get in there and you watch the weird
avant-garde.
Yeah, yes. Avant-garde is a great, because it would be the ones that, kind of bend what you're expecting, and this one does that. Whether it's successful or not is going to be, I think, how patient you are with this movie, or how offensive you find it, or how not offensive you find it, or whatever. For me, it worked enough to like it. I was prepared to give it a 3, but I can only give it a 2.5 at this point. And I still think that might be too much, given how I now feel about 2 particular scenes. But having said that,
to taint you. I'm sorry.
I've been tainted. My favorite scene though is not a horror scene at all, but I found it incredibly fascinating. At one time, one of our segments, the wife wakes up and the husband is just gone. He has fled, and when she climbs out of the tent, suddenly there's all this snow. Right? It's been like time has passed, and I'm like, I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What's the matter? That means something. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? This is cool. What does this mean? I don't think it means shit now. But at the time, it was like, what's going on here? And that scene kept going and led to an interesting conclusion to that cycle. But so I'm going to stop there. Anything else? Do we want to say anything about something? All right. So there you go. There's our review for KOKO-DI, KOKO-DA. I would have said KOKO-DA, but they say KOKO-DA in the movies, and we're going to say it here.
KOKO-KAKA.
KOKO-KAKA, for sure.
The sequel is KOKO-DOO-DOO. So.
KOKO-DOO.
Coco turd.
Stop.
I beat her on the birth.
All right, that's our review. It's playing on Shudder now. If you want to go see what all the nonsense we're talking about, there it is, waiting for you to watch it. Dave, so glad you're back, dude. So glad you're back. Crystal,
Nice.
Yes.
I would have been the loner. Think about this.
Yeah.
I would have been the lone hater.
You'd have to defend this piece of crap all by yourself.
Yeah, I know.
no, not defend. Well,
No,
defend.
that's not defend. Yeah, defend your stance by yourself.
Yes, there you go.
mhm.
Yeah.
There you go. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Doc.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night.
Boop.